What's cracking, people? It's your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, representing high level technicians operating globally and beyond. So, listen, today I want to do something a little bit different. In this particular presentation, I want to highlight videos from across YouTube that I've come across that highlight the various sacred steps of seduction. Now, those of you who have your copy of the seduction scriptures, of course, you know that I'm referring to page 137, where I break down the 7 sacred steps of seduction. It's a very simple progression that I use as sort of a calling card, if you will. Those of you who have various products from the collection, in particular, Enchant, the ASP Holy Ghost, which of course is the official fragrance of seduction, you have on the jacket or the insert these 7 steps. Now, they're simple, but they are very comprehensive. When I formulated this particular progression, I wanted to really embody the movements and the actions and the mindset of a seducer when he has entered a space, when he has identified a target, the type of woman that he desires to acquire, and all of the progressive actions, both verbal and nonverbal, that he takes in order to effectively manage the man-to-woman exchange and take a progressive, positive interaction with the type of woman that he desires, all the way from hello to the pillow. So, without further ado, let's get into Scorpio's 7 sacred steps of seduction. Now, of course, the first step is to stand. Now, from my perspective, this action puts your stature on full display, and whether you're 5'1" or 6'7", your confidence, your energy, your vitality is the first impact that you want to make when initially engaging with the type of woman that you desire to acquire. But listen to the presenter in this first clip, because I think that he gives some key insight into the value of standing.
When you start your training, no matter what type of system it is, the first thing you normally learn in the martial arts is the proper way of standing, which means the proper way of aligning your body on the earth. Because we say, if you cannot stand firmly, no matter what type of techniques and applications you're trying to do afterwards, they can only be as good as your foundation is.
Great insight indeed. Now, the next step is one of the most important and powerful steps in the progression of sacred steps of seduction. This particular step is going to actually have its own video presentation because it's that important. It's that necessary to break down what goes into enchanting someone. It sounds like, just be yourself. It sounds like, oh, I'm just gonna, shoot my shot. I'm gonna spit that ism. I'm gonna just put it out there. No. The elements and the essence of enchanting someone has to do with more than just surface actions. And the next presenter crystallizes that beautifully. Take a listen.
Now, I like this definition of an affair. It brings together the 3 key elements: a secretive relationship, which is the core structure of an affair; an emotional connection to one degree or another; and a sexual alchemy. And alchemy is the key word here, because the erotic frisson is such that the kiss that you only imagine giving can be as powerful and as enchanting as hours of actual lovemaking.
That's right, gentlemen. She said the anticipation of a mere kiss between people who are engaged in a conversation that is enchanting, when a man is building the scene, when he is illuminating the world that he wishes to bring his woman into. The mere build up to just the kiss from that man to that woman can be as powerful and even more enchanting as engaging in the exchange of sex. Powerful stuff. Like I said, that's going to have its own presentation, so stick around for that at another date. But let's continue. We've gone through standing and enchanting. Now listen to this.
To be human is to be emotional, to feel things. And for all of us, the sense of touch is intrinsically emotional, and we don't need scientific investigations to know that. We can just look at our common expressions that we use every day. I'm touched by your concern.
So, gentlemen, the reason why touch comes after the enchantment aspect of this particular 7-step progression is, as in the case of what the presenter mentioned, it is a solidifying factor of reality. It brings the conversation out of this sort of imaginary fantasy land and tethers it to the real world. It's a tactile experience that ties in the emotional rush that you're providing this woman that you desire to acquire, and builds the ideal amount of tension that flows almost effortlessly into the next progression on this list of 7 sacred steps of seduction. Here it is.
When you're in an interrogation or an interview, or you're on a first date, or you're at a job interview in your career, or any type of first interview with any situation, what's the best way to build command, authority, and credibility?
Yeah. So you can do very simple things like when you greet someone, hi, how are you? Come on in. Why don't you use the bathroom before we get started? So I'm not asking you, would you like to use the bathroom? I'm telling you, why don't you go use the bathroom? Why don't you have something to drink? What can I bring you? Right? So I'm in this subtle way, I'm telling you to go to the bathroom, and you're going to go. Because of the way I said, why don't you go to the bathroom? No, go before we get started.
Gentlemen, this progression is actually reinforced throughout my book, and in that the core goal of the exchange is to introduce your masculine energy into a scenario while at the same time permitting space for her feminine energy to respond and to interact with your masculine energy. That's really at the core of this exchange. That is the essence of the dynamic of man gets woman. And it's so controversialized, it's so revolutionary, it's so out of trend because of the prevailing social narrative of the day. That's why this work, in my opinion, is so important. And it's important so that we reaffirm and establish an equilibrium between some of the most ancient and beneficial relationships in existence, and that is, in this case, the relationship between the masculine and feminine. Next, we have one of the other most important and essential steps within this progression, and another one that I'm going to take time out to present another video specifically for, and that is confirmation, confirming and getting consent within this exchange that you're building and managing between the type of woman that you desire to acquire. Listen to this.
The right thing to do is just ask. You don't want to get yourself caught up.
Everybody's getting caught up right now too, so don't even
and
try
rightfully
it.
so. Rightfully so. A lot of men are getting caught up, and they deserve that shit.
Of course.
So, don't get yourself caught up. It may sound corny, but just ask a girl, hey, whoever you need to ask or whatever you want to do to her. And if she says yes, lit. If she says no, leave.
Thank you. Lit or leave.
It's
Again, this is going to be a subject that will have its own presentation, because I think it's just that important and essential to the depth of enjoyment and participation of the exchange. And so, in alignment with what the presenters sort of put out there, on page 137 of the Seduction Scriptures, I give a reference of how you can go about getting confirmation of compliance, and how you get consent, and how it doesn't have to be something that's dry, something that's off-putting, something that's awkward, but actually something that enhances the level of activity within whatever exchange that you're engaging with the particular woman that you desire to acquire. But like I said, that's going to be another subject in and of itself for another video. Moving on, let's get to complete. This is, of course, just as important, if not more important, than the previous steps that have led to this point in the progression. All of the things that you put together, your tech systems check, aka your frame, your outfit, and your fragrance is tight. You've gone through the first 5 progressions on this list: stand, enchant, touch hand, command, confirm, and now we are at that moment in which it is time for you to complete. Here we go. The value that a select man brings to this particular interaction, the threesome specifically, is his attractive masculine energy that he's honed and groomed and created his signature with as a masculine master. Also, he brings a down-ass chick who, of course, is at least a 7.5, 8, or whatever, to this particular interaction. So those are the value pieces that a select man has brought to the threesome space in exchange for the other woman's playfulness, her participation, and her completion of this threesome circle. That is the true exchange of a high-level interaction. All right, I know what you're thinking. First of all, cousin, ain't no way I'm going to be able to consistently bring a 7 or 8 to a threesome situation. Listen, I feel you on that, and I got you. I will be soon dropping a video talking about Foxy 4s, okay? Stay tuned for that. It will be worth the wait, gentlemen. Trust me. Secondly, I could not have let a presentation covering a review of YouTube-based shorts, okay, without including myself. But the takeaway from that particular clip is that the completion of the progression, the completion of this mission, the completion of what you started with the woman that you desire to acquire is essential for the value of this mission. However, if at first you do not succeed, try this.
Open, it's your close, right? You ask for the, you do your first 4 seconds right here. You ask for the order here. You made your presentation here. So when someone, you ask for the order, they say, let me think about it, you're here. You now actually have to loop backwards into the sale and re-present. In other words, when you gave your initial presentation here, they're still not certain of it. We have to raise their level of certainty. The way we do that is through these looping patterns. So that's step 8. And at the end of our looping pattern, okay, we're going to ask for the order for the second time. So the loop always ends with you asking for the order, right?
Shout out to the Wolf of Wall Street for this particular demonstration. Gentlemen, when we talk about consistency and being exactly who you are throughout the interaction with the woman that you desire to acquire, not only requires being stable and being stoic, but it also requires being present to the point where you are repeating certain action steps, certain progressions within the 7 steps that allow you to re-engage her This is not saying that you're going to, stalk her, or that you should continue forward in the face of flat-out rejection. Not at all. Take your lesson and move on. However, when you are engaged in that dance, when you're engaged in that space of sensual flirtation, and it doesn't progress necessarily as fast as you anticipated, be calm. Remain in your confidence enough. Just as the last presenter mentioned, you can always loop back to one or more of the previous progressions so that you can reset the intent, so that you can realign the movement and the activities of the evening. Ultimately, for the goal of whatever your mission is for engaging with the woman of your desires in the first place. So at the end of the day, gentlemen, I want you to take away that though these 7 secret steps are drawn out in a way that can be used verbatim, one by one, this is not to be, an end-all, be-all, tell-all how to carry forward for the rest of your journey, because the goal is to graduate from needing to use anything that is written down. It's to get men to balance the online presence that many of us use in our daily activities with the actual physical presence in the real world. That's ultimately the goal and mission for me, having written this book, The Seduction Scriptures. And I highly encourage you to get your copy either through Amazon or via the website, theseductionscriptures.com. Links will be, of course, in the description down below. As always, I enjoy your feedback. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or thoughts down below in the comment section. As always, this is your man, Cousin T, aka the Alpha Wingman, saying stay sharp and mission focused. Later.